Welcome to This Is What I Do, where we explore the work that is waiting to be done in our community. I'm your host, DJ Hilson. Today we are talking to Dan Aull from the County of Muskegon. Welcome, Dan.
Hey.
We are pleased you're here. We are the Rotary Club of Muskegon, part of Rotary International, a group of more than 1.4 million individuals from around the world whose goal is to create lasting positive change. We've been doing that here in Muskegon since 1916. One of our goals is improving the local economy. This vocational spotlight program assists students in making rewarding career choices. We hope they can remain in our community and improve life here for all of us. That's why we're here today. So Dan, please tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Dan Aull, and I'm an information systems technician working with Muskegon County at the Hall of Justice.
Talk to us about how you arrived at this particular job. Maybe a little bit about the education and maybe experience.
Sure. So I got in at this job through an internship through MCC. Went to MCC for computer networking. Was the degree and a certificate in networking with Mark Verhoeven, who I highly recommend for all students. Go to Mark Verhoeven because he knows his stuff. And I got an internship at the county, and then from there, they hired me in. They said, yeah, we'd keep you. You seem to be doing a good job. So got hired in and then worked for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then got promoted because I was doing great.
Let's talk about your experiences for a second. So experiences as it relates to help get the job you have now outside of your education. What directed you into this particular field?
So I decided to get into information technology because I saw that there was a huge segment of the population that was afraid of it and didn't understand it and were confused, and everything was being dominated by technology. So they needed a guide and someone to help them navigate those waters a little bit, which I think we can all understand. But in an enterprise environment or in a workplace, when they're just throwing new tools at you all day, you need somebody who's knows and can help and is pleasant to help you instead of someone who's grumpy. So that's why I got into IT.
Talk about a little bit about what makes your job, or what's most interesting to you in the job that you do.
The job has a lot of variety, which is good. So if you are the type of person who doesn't want to do the same thing every day, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of different things that come at you. In some ways, it's a reactive job because you go wherever there's need. I like working with people, and I want to help people. I always tell people who are interested in IT, I ask them, why do you like IT? And if your answer is, well, I like working with computers and I don't like working with people, then that's not the right path for you, because with IT, it's very dealing with people. I mean, you have to have great customer service skills, and your communication skills have to be very good. And I see that a lot with students, especially when I was going to school. They were like, I just don't want to work with people. I'd rather just sit in my room and play on my computer. I'm like, well, maybe you should be a mechanical engineer or something where you can do something different.
As you've kind of grown in this career, what have you found to be the most challenging aspects, or what challenges you?
Time management is the biggest challenge for IT because there's always something to do, and prioritizing that, especially at the Hall of Justice where I work, if there's very high-level things that are going on that require immediate help. So anything in a courtroom, if a lawyer can't throw evidence up for everyone to see because there's a technical issue, that's something that has a huge impact on the case and on the people and on the judge and on the image. So there's a lot of things like that that are stressful that you have to prioritize. So I would say the most challenging thing is time management.
So let's talk a little bit about what you believe is the most difficult part of getting the job that you have now. Are there any challenges leading up to being able to be hired in or that?
There are huge challenges, especially in information technology and in most jobs right now, because they're talking about the skills gap, and what they're really talking about is an experience gap. And so most of the jobs that you're seeing we want someone who's got 5 years experience in the field, so you need to have that. So getting experience is the best thing you can do to get the job. And you're like, well, what if they don't give me a job? How do I get it? It's kind of caught in the loop.
Right.
The answer is an internship. That's the answer. So if you are a student, go get an internship. Even if it's not for college credit, hit up everybody around you and say, can I watch? Can I learn? Can I come in? I'll work for free. And if you can get 2 or 3 years of internship experience, you are going to be leaps and bounds ahead at getting a job. And if you're good and you know what you're doing, then you could even be someone who's been working in that industry because you have a variety of experience and a lot of it.
Just explain a little bit to the students who may be watching this, how easy is it to get an internship? I mean, let's talk about Muskegon County just as a whole. How easy is it to find an industry or a business that has the IT experience you're looking for?
I think it takes a lot of persistence. I wouldn't say that it's easy. I think it's work. I don't think that everyone is kind of gearing you towards, get an internship and there's always someone to help. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 people who are helping everyone. There's a huge need to have additional people who are helping to get these internships. So you really have to be your own advocate. And I'd recommend probably anyone that you know who works in IT, try to work through your social circles that exist. IT people a lot of times don't have those because we tend to be less forward-facing than that. So I would work through your academic institution for sure and see what opportunities they can give. But it's difficult.
Character is often described as respect, trust, and citizenship. How does what you do rely on any of those traits?
It relies on all of those things. So respect is huge. Mm-hmm. I mean, you need to be able to empathize and respect everyone that you're dealing with, and being able to give that respect and get it in return. The trust, they go hand in hand, right? All 3 of those things really go hand in hand. If you can't trust your IT department, then that's going to be a really big issue. But on the same hand, it's a two-way street. So if your IT department can't trust you that you're going to follow the rules or not use technology in a bad way or things like that, we need to be vigilant against. That becomes an issue. As far as citizenship goes, because we enable everyone to work together with technology, because that's what technology is for, is communication all over the place. That's a huge part of what we do. It's not just, what machines are working to do what. It's like, why are we doing this? Why do we do these things? It's not just so that, things can go faster. What are we really trying to achieve? And the answer is we're trying to achieve better services for everyone so that there's less stress involved, make things easier, especially at the Hall of Justice, where getting information out is a huge part of what we do, is informing the public and making sure that they understand and making things easy to use. All that stuff goes together.
You've touched on a couple of things for students, but I want you to maybe give us your top 5, top 10, whatever that list is, of what students can do to best prepare for the work that you do.
Students really need to take their own education into their own hands in IT. Because when you go to college and you go to MCC, they're going to teach you a foundation of information. And in some careers, that foundation only grows a little bit, and then you hyper-focus on maybe a few things, and then you're good to go for however long. Things don't change that much. Electricity works the same. Things work the same. That does not work in IT. So continuing education is going to be huge. So if you're not the type of person who likes to learn new things, or if you get excited about new knowledge that you're acquiring, not everyone does, but if you do, you should probably go into IT because it is required in order to be there. Patience is probably my top trait would be patience. So you're definitely going to need to be patient, not just when things don't work because things aren't going to work, but being patient with people. Patience is the number one. Resourcefulness in terms of, are you able to research? Your research skills as an IT person have to be top-notch. If you don't know something, you're the person who has to figure it out. So you need to know how the tools can be used. So how quickly can you research something? How your reading comprehension has to be fantastic if that's what you're going to do. I just want to speak out to the students out there from Muskegon who are trying to really bring up in all of this that I was born and raised in Muskegon from a poor family. And I understand that it can be difficult to go into all these things where you don't have a great education and you still want to achieve and you don't have any money and you don't have anything. So use the resources that are there and get hungry for knowledge for yourself. Use whatever resources. The public bus, get on it. I rode an hour and a half there and back every single day to the college to get in. It can be done, okay? Reach out to all of your teachers. Reach out to anyone that you can get. Get your internship. Do whatever you need to do, but you can do it. And just because you were raised poor in an impoverished place where maybe your education system was overburdened, you still can do that if you have the will.
We thank Dan for sharing his story with us today, and we thank you for joining us. If you think this program might help someone else, please send them the link, and until next time, the Muskegon Rotary Club would like you to consider doing something good for your community.